Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's another episode of the Buko Boys.
In case you didn't know, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, we kind of took a couple weeks off here.
Well, you were gone.
I was gone.
Tell us about it.
I went to Texas. I took my daughter to Texas.
Or Tejas,
Tejas, if you will.
as they call it down there.
Down in Mexico.
So what was the purpose of this little vacay?
Just to get away, me and my
Okay.
daughter just wanted to just go explore something new. We haven't been. And
Yeah.
she talked about that being a place of interest when she grows up to maybe live there.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? Austin is supposed to be a really cool place. Let's go to Austin.
In what way do you mean it's a cool place?
Just from what I heard, I mean, you have South by Southwest that's over there.
Okay.
What's that other festival that goes on over there?
Is there like a film festival?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Well, South by Southwest. There's that music festival, South by Southwest. Austin City Limits.
Okay.
Austin City Limits. That's the
I
other.
don't even know what that is.
I can't even remember off the top of my head. Anyways, there's a ton of tourism over there. Like, tons. Like,
Yeah.
everybody there was just on vacation.
I know Joe Rogan just moved there, and he loves it out there.
So, it's pretty nice out there. I like it out there. Still not my favorite city, though.
Okay.
But it was really nice exploring it, and I liked everything out there besides the freeway structure.
Is it like a big college town?
I mean, there's colleges nearby, but no, not really.
Okay. I don't know why I thought of that.
It's more of, so the downtown area, there's just bar after bar after bar.
Okay.
There's some really old buildings there. We took those motorized scooters, and we took them all over the streets. That was fun. That was real fun. I want to buy one. Those things are quick as shit. It's going like 18 miles an hour on that thing.
Yeah, I went to Georgia, and I rented one with a friend, and we took it from. We were at the Mercedes-Benz Dome Stadium,
Mm-hmm.
and we took it down to our hotel. One of those things, and man, the quickness.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And then they lasted quite a while.
Nice.
You can get some distance on those
Oh
things.
yeah.
We were cruising all up and down, miles and miles. I did this pay for a whole 24-hour thing, so we could just keep using them over and over again for a full 24 hours, and that shit was really fun. We also did a ghost tour on the first night.
Ooh.
We could talk more about that,
Okay.
unless you want to talk about it now.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, first night we did the ghost tour.
Yeah.
So, while we are on this ghost tour, the guy giving our guide, such a bitch.
Okay.
Such a bitch.
Why do you say that?
So he is doing a paranormal ghost tour,
Yes.
and he talks about how he would be so scared if anything paranormal ever happened that he would turn and run and leave. Like, he would run away from this, quit his job, and just leave. He'd be too scared.
Oh, okay.
But why the hell would you do this then? Why would you? He's not into the paranormal, not at all.
Right.
Why would you do a ghost tour?
For the money,
Like, he just needed a job or something.
maybe.
That's what it sounded like. And was like, man. So compared to the Ybor City ghost tour,
Yeah.
this ghost tour, Ybor City ghost tour, 10 out of 10.
Okay.
This one, 5, 6-ish.
Okay.
Just the way, it is really loud out there. So, all the live music everywhere and all that. Bars with the doors open, playing music. So as he is saying things on the tour, but he's also going really fast past things. And we're not spending a lot of time on, getting in-depth history.
Okay.
It's just real quick, this, over here. This, over here. And then we did go to the Driscoll Hotel, which is a really famous haunted hotel out there.
Yes, I've heard it's the most haunted
The
in the
beats
area.
things.
Yeah.
Well, I could totally feel ghosts up in there.
Okay.
We walked in there, it was still maybe 9 o'clock at night, so still kind of busy, and not active for spirits or anything. And looking up the stairs, I could totally feel something up there. But anyways, we went back there later on and did our own little investigation
Nice.
on our last night there. Then we also ended up, we went fishing. Did some bass. Couldn't go to Texas and not go bass fishing.
All right.
You know, fishing's my thing.
Yes, yes.
So, of course, we did some bass fishing. It was raining. It was cold as shit, but we still made it through it, and we still caught a bunch of fish.
Nice.
And
Did
then,
you take take them home? Or take them back with you?
No. Just catch and release, just for fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This wasn't like deep sea fishing where that would be the case. But no, didn't do any of that. We weren't that close to the coast, and I wasn't going to drive either. That was too far after that flight. But we did drive to San Antonio, and we spent Easter on. They have a river walk out there.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. It's pretty cool. It's just this river that runs through the downtown, and you can walk along it. And on both sides, they have bars and restaurants and shopping and all sorts of things. And we ended up going to this Brazilian place for Easter brunch. Pretty awesome.
Oh, okay.
Pretty awesome.
What's going on in San Antonio? I mean, the Alamo's there, right?
Yeah, the Alamo. So we had to go to the Alamo. We go to the Alamo, and it's just like, I think there's just a church left.
Okay.
But not much of. There's just the land, like talking about this is where the Alamo was. But there's nothing there.
It's on a dusty trail.
No, there's no
coach wagons.
No, I was expecting to see maybe like a historical village or something.
Yeah.
That was my expectation to see something.
Holes in it, no?
Yeah, you know how we have like here in Utah, there's a couple of these places that are like preserved log cabins of old pioneers and shit. I was expecting something like that.
Okay.
Nothing. There's this old church, and this old church had the remains of the heroes of the Alamo. So their remains are in this church. Right as you walk in, they were in the like.
You said there's 4 people?
Yeah.
Who was?
Oh damn! I don't know who they were, but they're the heroes of the Alamo. I bet you, if any of you all Google the heroes of the Alamo, you'll know whose dead bodies I was next to.
Okay.
But that was it for the Alamo. Then we ended up we went back to Austin, and what else? Whoa, they have a bat bridge. There's this bridge where a bunch of bats, millions of bats, they live underneath it.
Ooh.
And as the sun goes down, they all start flying out of there.
Guano everywhere?
Underneath, I bet, like in the cracks of the bridge. Yeah. They are all up underneath there. And they just fly out in sheets of bats. Just.
Did you see it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
What are you looking for? Just fruit?
No, insects. Yeah. But, so as they start flying out, everyone starts cheering. I don't know why the bats.
Seen it.
They're just like, hey, thanks guys, thanks for watching.
That ain't nothing until you've been to Cebu in the Philippines. And that's some bats.
Those are flying foxes.
Yes. Wingspan, I don't know, 7 feet long.
4 feet.
4 feet?
Something like that. Not 7 feet. That's a dragon.
Dragon. Really?
But Austin was cool. There was a whole other side to Austin that I didn't get to explore, which were the bar scene.
Okay.
Being that I took my daughter and she's under 21, I was not going to go explore the bar scene and just leave her abandoned in the hotel.
Sure.
So I stuck around and we just hung out and did father-daughter stuff. It was the best.
So why did you want to go to Austin?
I chose Austin.
No, but like you said
she said just in
one day.
Just in the future. That was just a place that she thought of perhaps making a living in that city, in that state of Texas. So I said, let's go check out Austin, just because that would probably be the most happening place to go check out. But then she brought up wanting to go to Corpus Christi after I booked everything to go see the Selena Museum.
Okay.
But that was like a 3-hour drive. I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a whole other trip. Well, that trip I would go do offshore fishing in the ocean.
So I'm just looking here. The flying fox wingspan is 5.5 feet long.
So we were like in the middle. Right in the middle.
I said 7, 5.5.
Perfect.
So, well, huge bats, like I said.
Yeah, dragons. But yeah, Austin was fun. I guess I would have to go back to explore the adult side of it, because that looked pretty awesome.
Now, how would you,
barbecue.
I was like, real quick, how would you feel about your daughter going to like a town like this where it's just lined up with bars and she doesn't live near you? How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, she'd be an adult.
Sure.
Her mom has tendencies. Not so good with alcohol.
Oh, that's funny.
If you know, you know. But, I mean, Austin isn't all about partying.
Right.
But I guess being that that's kind of like their main scene, I guess there's more of a responsible way of Ubering around, so I wouldn't...
Okay.
The drunk driving part of it wouldn't
Okay.
scare me, but the whole people in the date rapey stuff does.
The whole acting like your mom thing.
Yeah, that part does too. The worst of it all. But no, I mean, I'd see her as an adult first.
All right.
She's very responsible though.
She's a very good girl.
So I don't see her doing anything like that.
That's very good. And then you're talking about barbecue. That's my scene right there. Fishing is your scene there. The barbecue's my scene there.
And I did go to a couple famous barbecue spots.
Uh-huh.
And damn it, I can't think of the first one I went to. But the second one I went to was Stubbs.
Yes.
Ironworks.
Actually, Joe Rogan talks about Stubbs on his podcast multiple times. He loves Stubbs.
So I did go to Stubbs, and I went to, I guess they have a couple other locations, but I went to the main one with the amphitheater.
Okay.
So down in the basement, there's a live stage in the basement with a bar and everything. And then outside...
They do stand-up shows down there.
Oh yeah, I could see them doing stand-up shows.
I think they do stand-up.
Probably a lot of like opening bands, maybe like first up-and-coming bands. But the amphitheater's huge.
Okay.
Outside, yeah, it's massive, and it's all big outdoor. It's all gravel and old wood seating or wood table. I don't know, what was it? But anyways, the bars were all old school and just hanging out there, just out in the open, getting rained on and everything. But it's pretty badass looking.
Nice.
It's Wild West looking amphitheater.
Okay.
Just the feel of that place, as old as it is, and all the history there. The feel of that place is badass.
Nice.
I wasn't a fan of one of the sides though. I had this.
What'd you get?
It was this. It was like a creamed spinach with jalapenos. It wasn't good.
Like the heat or the taste or what?
All of it.
Okay, all right.
I just don't. I just had to try it. Just
sure.
Get it out of my system.
I would try it.
Yeah, you'd think. I mean, I hoped, anyways.
Okay.
I couldn't like it as much as I wanted to.
Fair enough.
I couldn't. I liked all those ingredients in it, but I didn't like it.
Okay.
Ironworks was another famous one. I didn't know it was as popular as it is, but when I went in there, I only went there to eat because it process of elimination, really.
Okay.
Trying to eat at all these places right next to our hotel, and none of them were like serving food or were in between or 21 and over only.
Okay.
So I looked on the maps and found this barbecue spot right there. I was like, boom, let's go. Ran over there and come to find out it's littered with celebrities all over the wall.
Oh.
And just with them with their signatures and their pictures eating there and everything. So I like barbecue, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of it, and especially what I tried out there, a lot of it tastes the same.
Okay.
Except the sauces are different. But for the most part, if it's either really dry meat, but all the meat, like everyone knows how to cook it, so all of it's really good.
Okay.
But all of it's really similar in taste. The thing that makes the difference is the sauces and the sides.
Okay. So what were some of your favorite sides then?
The huge. But
mac and cheese.
But if they are horrible, then damn, don't go eat at that place because all the damn meat's going to taste the same.
If you go to a barbecue joint, what do you like to go get?
Brisket.
I'm a brisket man.
I like brisket. I like pulled pork as well. I also like the ribs.
Ooh, yeah.
So I gotta try all of it. I
Here's
usually
it.
try all of those.
Like a good andouille sausage as well.
Sometimes sometimes, especially at a new place you've never been to, you get screwed because it's dry. Sometimes it can be real dry, and then it's like, oh man. Or sometimes I've had it where it's the heat in those. Sometimes they put peppers in them, and the heat's too much. I'm kind of a puss when it comes to heat.
Yes.
You all know that.
We almost killed him twice now with the Choco Challenge.
Well, I'm so glad we did that small bite of that. That small bite was hurting. I can imagine the full one was gonna really,
that's hilarious.
really burn some things.
So Texas was a good time.
Texas was great. Like I said, the freeway system's weird. Frontage roads, one ways.
Okay.
And they're all used to it. And I'm like, man, I bet you when they go out of town, it's a treat for them having frontage roads going both ways. It's kind of a pain in the ass out there.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about with old Tejas?
I'll definitely come back because that's a huge state.
Yes,
huge.
It
It's
is
like
huge.
there's over 200 counties. Did you know that?
I didn't know
That's
that.
insane. That's way too much for one state.
That's a lot of counties.
Imagine having to do a report on shit like that when you're in school. That would suck to live there and do that.
Well, you just picked one.
No, remember you had to memorize all these and they were on tests.
Oh, like a geography test.
That too, yeah, it sucked.
That is funny. Well, let's bring it back to Utah.
Okay.
And Dwayne Wade just became part owner of the Utah Jazz in the last couple days.
That's awesome for him.
Yeah, I think it's awesome for the team.
A lot of people are complaining about it. I don't know why.
I don't know. I mean, I know he's not a jazz man.
He's an NBA player,
Yeah,
and it's not easy to get into an ownership of an NBA team.
I mean, to get an ownership in any professional sports team is difficult. Because, first of all, you've got to put up a lot of cash. So you've got to make, that means
Gotta have capital.
you've got to have capital, and you've had to be smart with your money. Because most athletes are not going to be the best with their money.
No.
and some of them, like for example, Shaq, he started off being really stupid with his money, and then he just kind of, talking with people and talking with professionals, he learned that he needed to, be smarter with his money, and now Shaq has made really smart business moves, and he's a really smart businessman now.
He's in a ton of commercials.
He's in a lot of commercials, and he full-heartedly believes in those commercials he does. He doesn't just endorse anyone that throws cashes away. He really is I believe in this product. I like this product. That's why I'm going to advertise this product.
He really likes the general.
He does. He actually, there's a whole story about it.
Oh, really?
His whole story, he said when he first got his first card, no one would insure him, and the general was his first insurance company that gave him a shot. And so now he's
they've been around that long?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they just came out the last little bit of infomercial time.
Nope.
Those horrible ass
They've been around for a long time. And so he's a big advocate for the general insurance.
Yeah. Oh, I had no idea.
So
funny.
So he's big. Yeah,
it's funny that you know that.
I listen to a lot of stuff, I tell you. I actually listened to a podcast with Shaq and Conan O'Brien. He mentioned that.
I like Conan's.
Yeah.
Shit, he's funny.
So anyway, Dwayne Wade, that means he's made some smart moves with his money. He's been smart about it. I'm sure his wife, she also seems like she's got a good head on her shoulders as well. She's a famous actress who's done really well with her money. And then you have to get the other owners to like you. He's done well in the NBA game himself, winning championships. So I think it's great. So if people didn't know, the Utah Jazz started in New Orleans for one season as the New Orleans Jazz for jazz music.
Yeah.
And then Larry H. Miller, who was a huge businessman here in
Car
Utah.
dealership.
Yeah, big into car dealerships and other sports teams. And he bought, because New Orleans was, I think they were going under with it or something. They weren't doing good with it.
They were selling the team.
And so he brought it to Utah and kept it the name Jazz and just renamed it Utah Jazz. Only in its second season. So really, it's been the Utah Jazz forever. And Larry H. Miller passed away a few years ago. His family has been running the businesses. They own multiple businesses here in Utah, big businesses. They've been running his business, and then at the end of 2020, they started getting into allowing other owners. So now, one individual, I can't remember what his name is or what business he owns, but he has the majority ownership of the team. The Miller family still has some minority ownership.
He's something Smith.
Yeah, not 100%. And so the Miller family still has a minority ownership, and then they're allowing a couple other owners. And Dwayne Wade just became one of the newest owners.
You know what I always thought of when I was younger, when I found out about how the Jazz, because I was always like, why the hell are they called Utah Jazz? Jazz has nothing to do with Utah. And then I found out that, they bought it from New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember thinking it would be funny if we also took their football team, because with the Utah and Saints, Latter-day Saint thing here, that would have been hilarious. Because then they would have embraced that team so much, but then they couldn't go to the games because it's on Sundays.
It's funny.
And I'd laugh at them for that.
And now New Orleans has a team now, a basketball team now.
What are they now?
Pelicans.
I was going to say the Pelicans. Weird name.
It's interesting.
But, I mean, so is most animal teams. Just weird that they pick. But there's nothing. But mostly when they pick a bird, it's like something fierce, like a predatory bird.
Hawk.
Yeah.
Golden eagle.
Yeah, but pelican?
Yeah.
Huh.
The most annoying of birds.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
Or ostrich or emu. Most annoying of birds. So anyway, I think it's cool. Dwayne Wade's part owner, and I hope that helps. I know he's not coaching, but hopefully he brings some great savvy to the coaching staff, maybe.
Probably bringing other celebrities here, other sports players too. Yeah, he probably has his own suite that he can have them hang out here and have more chances for us to hang out with celebrities, I guess.
I think Utah's still number one in the NBA, so hopefully we keep.
Oh yeah,
keep
riding
that train.
Oh,
another thing, real quick, bringing it back, keeping it in Utah. Another thing we've talked about is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake. Real Housewives of Salt Lake. One of them just got arrested.
Oh yeah, for some scheme, some
Ponzi scheme. Yeah, and I don't know who this lady is, and I guess her husband's a big time lawyer, and she's got some businesses, and she had this business where she was collecting their clients' information and reselling it to be scammed. They were like targeting elderly to scam them, and she was selling their information to scam. So, but she was all part of her and her assistant, and her husband like he doesn't know. So
someone has to stay out of jail.
Yeah,
someone has to keep the money flowing.
So that is that's interesting.
Wow. I heard about that, but I didn't know more in the detail.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
That whole show sounds like a mess.
Well, any of those Real Housewives shows.
Yeah.
I haven't
watched any of those Real Housewives series at all.
Me neither.
But I'm only hearing about this season because it's in Salt Lake. But God, they sound like a mess.
Yeah. In fact, we were hoping Gail Miller was going to be part of it. Going back to Larry H. Miller's his widow Gail Miller at age 70. I don't know.
That would have been funny if she was in there being all sassy and old.
She wouldn't, but it was kind of funny. Yeah, I could never get into those. I can't. Okay, I'm empathic, and those drama shows. There's too much negativity and politics around it, and it just creeps me out and it irritates me. I just can't. You can't view it. You can't watch it.
Hate those.
Ugh. And I kind of wanted to just to kind of see who we're going to be on the show, because we did talk about it right on one of our previous episodes.
Yeah.
Had zero interest.
Yeah, I had no idea who any of them were.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it.
Yep, I'm going to watch it. All right. Next story. Now we're taking it back. We're going across. We went from Texas to Utah. Now we're going to Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
And Oklahoma has just put a bounty on Bigfoot. Imagine that.
So they've finally said, you know what, guys? If you see him, kill him.
No.
They want him alive or dead?
They want him alive.
So tranquilizer guns only.
So it's $2.1 million for the capture of Bigfoot. They're going to give Bigfoot tracking permits. So, for example, I don't know, every state's different.
I want one just to have one. I'm not gonna go track them, but
in Utah, you used to be able to buy like hunting permits for whatever, and now because there's so many people interested in it,
you gotta get tags.
you get it's a raffle.
Yeah.
So you buy a raffle ticket, and then you get drawn if you're able to go hunt bear, elk, deer, whatever. So I don't know how Oklahoma City does it, but they're gonna do Bigfoot tracking permits, and the only rule is that Bigfoot must be captured alive and unharmed, and no laws can be broken, which is a given. You can never break law. That's a given. But he must be captured alive and unharmed. So this area is in southeast Oklahoma, and it reports to have the 9th most Bigfoot sightings in the world.
Okay, thinking about this, whenever you see these heist shows on TV,
Heist shows, okay.
and they're all elaborate, and they're going after like $1 or $2 million.
Sure.
And they have all the gadgets, and they're like, blah 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 blah.
They're already black.
Yeah, and they go in stealth and get mission accomplished, and they get their money. Where's these teams now?
To try to get Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Now's the time we need them.
Now's the time when their technology and all the shit that they've worked their asses off for can prove that Bigfoot's the real deal, and they're going to get $2 million.
Now, the state lawmakers hope that this large bounty will increase tourism. So I don't know if that means people like us can travel to Oklahoma and get these permits and go squatching, as it's called. So, I mean, they're talking about bringing tourism over there.
Like I said, I just want one of those damn permits. I'm gonna go down to Oklahoma City just for a permit.
I mean, we've talked about Bigfoot. I'm so fascinated by Bigfoot. Again, I've said it before.
Can you do a Bigfoot call?
We attempted this, and it was a big failure. But yes, I will attempt one. I think that sounds like a female Bigfoot. It sounds like a juvenile.
Cow and heat.
That's where I got the idea from. Was a recent cow encounter.
Hope she was hot.
She was a heifer. But like I've said before, there's thousands of Bigfoot stories out there, and if just one is true, then that means it's real. Out of thousands. So again, do I believe in Bigfoot? It's hard to say yes or no. Do I think it's possible? Yes, I do think it's possible, and that is why I'm intrigued. That I believe in the possibility of it. Just like aliens, like out of this world aliens. Do I believe they're out there? I don't know. But do I believe it's a possibility? Yes, and that is what is intriguing to me, is that.
Yeah, because we don't know, because we don't have the actual, here it is.
Exact evidence.
Yeah. Here's an alien here from outer space that's going to come and talk to you.
And we need a body. We need a body.
And with all this alien autopsy shit, like, why can't they just come out and say that that's what happened, or that we have bodies and...
Well, I just saw this recent... Now that you said that, I just remember. I just saw a recent video. Somebody, and they were using night vision, and there was this triangular thing they were saying was in the sky.
I saw something, but I didn't watch it.
So, it's night vision, so it's all greenish, with a little white triangular shape. It's hard to tell what the distance is in this video, but I don't remember what branch of military it is. We're basically saying, we don't know what it is, not us, we don't know what it is. There seem to be a little bit more forthcoming these days. Like military branches. You know what I mean? Like, they just seem to be a lot more forthcoming. Like, we don't know what it is. Here's some evidence we've got. Share it with the world. I mean, are they here? I don't know.
I think the world's more open to it now than they were before.
Again, there's thousands and thousands of UFO and alien sightings. And again, if just one is true, then they're out there. Just one of those has to be true. And the thing is, you never know until it's you that experience it. Or we have to have a body. We have to have a body publicized or public out there for people to...
So all you special teams with all those special gadgets...
The stealth teams.
Get on this. There's $2 million on the line. This is what you guys live for. This is what you live for this shit.
Now, do you want to go squatching? Are you interested in squatching? Tracking down Bigfoot?
I would do it. I would
Bringing
so
him
do
in
it.
alive?
I
You have
would
to
do
use
it.
tranquilizers, right? I mean, you have no choice, really.
Well, is that considered harm? So, like, can you just... How do you bring them in unharmed?
Tranquilize, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm thinking, but is that considered harm?
Tranquilizing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe that's the only thing that you can do, I guess. Unless you throw a net down the old-fashioned way.
Or dig a hole and
Trap them with the old tiger
put
hole.
a tarp with
Tiger
dead leaves
trap.
on it. He's just strolling through, fall in a hole, and he screams.
Calling to all his friends.
And then, are they incestuous? Look,
They'd have to be.
there's not many of them, right?
Exactly. So you think, unless there's I can't remember where I heard this, that there's this whole underground world of them.
Oh, that's another topic. Hollow Earth. Now that we just watched, Bigfoot and Godzilla.
I heard about
Godzilla versus King Kong. There's the whole Hollow Earth was part of that movie, and the other movies with Godzilla and King Kong. There's these recent
Journey
ones.
to the center of the world.
Yeah, so there's a whole theory of this, and lizard people living in tunnels under the ground, and
I just saw something recently where this study, these scientists were saying that there's like 3 layers that could inhabit life or something under the Earth's crust. I don't know. Something crazy like that. I'd have to look more into it. But yeah, if we do a topic on that, yeah, for sure.
it's interesting.
Maybe
interesting.
Maybe next week.
All right, stealth people, there's your chance. All
Yeah,
you heisters.
$2 million, guys.
All you heisters. Get that millions and get Bigfoot. I want to see him. And if you did catch him, what were you going to do with him? Examine him, probe him, put him in a cage?
Tell the world, got him.
I keep saying he. It's always like assumed Bigfoot's a he, right? It's unnecessarily.
I do that with every kind of animal. Every animal, every fish I catch, it's
a he?
Yeah, I don't know why.
You don't finger it to find out?
No, I don't even squeeze him or do none of that.
Okay.
Hey, bud.
Alright, ready to talk about the last topic?
Okay, yeah, we can talk about that.
Hashtag stop Asian hate.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
So this is really geared up lately. Is it because of COVID? Is like people blaming all Asians for bringing COVID into the world?
Yeah.
Even though it's just like one city of
Supposedly
one city in China, but every Asian
come to
person.
find out now that they've done more and more studies, they've come to say that it did not develop in the lab. They said that plain and simple now.
Bats? We're still sticking with bats?
No, I don't think it. They said it did most likely come from animals, but that it was just genetically mutated over time and just came
From that
out.
city? Can't remember what city it was, but
Wuhan. But
Wow.
even then, they don't know if that's where it came from. It could have been some animal that they shipped in from some other place, and that.
True. But is this where this is coming from? Like this spark of Asian hate? Is it people just blaming all Asian people?
Yeah.
So I was watching this.
A lot of words being thrown out there to make people. There's a mental thing that people, I don't know, they hear people talk, they absorb it and retaliate and use that hate.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, it's
So
not cool.
So I was watching this video of this lady. This is before this whole Asian hate thing was going crazy. I was watching this video of this Asian woman in Germany, and she's walking around, videoing herself walking around Germany, and like the interaction that she's getting with the German people. Did you ever watch this?
Yeah.
And she went to a mall and she was eating, and she's just filming herself because she's just kind of showing what's happening to her day to day. And people come up to her and they're pulling their eyes, making them very slanty, and they're like talking into her camera, and she's just sitting there smiling, just kind of. She's very polite, and she doesn't push them away. She's just filming all of this. And there's one time where she's walking down the road and some random lady just punches her and keeps walking. And the Asian woman turns around, looks at her like, what the heck? And she's walking, and I think she's talking because it was just kind of like some music was playing. I think she's talking, and she ends up breaking down crying. You know, because this is how she lives every day. And luckily, the video ended nicely, where some Germans were they actually turned off the music and showed those Germans. And they were talking in English actually. And he was saying, "Hey, we love Asian people. Come here to Germany. Don't worry about these jerks that are here." And then I saw, I've seen other videos where this guy in New York just randomly kicks an older Asian woman to the ground, and I think he was a white guy, and then it was outside on the street in front of a store, and there was a black security guard inside. He sees it, he goes, locks the door, and doesn't go out to help this lady. So now this, the security guard's under scrutiny.
Yeah, they fired him.
Oh, they did? Yeah, and so, but I guess there's a lot of these, Asian hate. I think it's sparking from COVID. People just blaming all Asians.
Well, somebody's yelling out, blaming China for everything, saying China, 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 and kung fu and all this shit. It's like it's driving these hate words into people, and they use that as ammunition. So they target people that can't defend themselves. So here's somebody that they know that's not going to fight back, and they just
this nice looking Asian lady.
And
probably not going to fight.
And then just recently, I just saw one where they beat up a old Hispanic lady because they thought she was Asian.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I had a friend, an ex-girlfriend, and they're Mexican, and I thought her mom looked very Asian. But I mean, but that's not the point. The point is that it's this Asian hate. So the reason why I wanted to talk about it, I mean, we talked about racism before another episode with the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. But it's always talked about with in entertainment. That's what I'm saying. Okay, there we go. In entertainment, specifically TV and movies, there's always some talk about black themed. You know what I mean? Like a black themed movie, black themed TV show. Which I get, because most TV shows were all white based. You want to bring some color and diversification. But you don't hear much about Asian, Polynesian, Middle Eastern though. It's a lot of black and Hispanic. I don't know if that's just a bigger, funny to say, a bigger minority. It's almost like an oxymoron, right? It's like a bigger minority, and so they have more voices and they're trying to be heard. Good for them, not bad.
But what's crazy is it's not because I think Chinese population outweighs all of that. Right.
But there's never talk in entertainment to bring more Asian shows, more Middle Eastern shows, more Polynesian shows. I don't think there's any Polynesian shows, now I say that.
Now there is.
What is there?
The Rock.
The Young Rock?
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet.
But it's not a Polynesian, it's a half Polynesian person.
Yeah.
It's not really a Polynesian based, family or anything like that. But it's always, obviously, most shows are white, and there's quite a few black, a little Hispanic, one Asian maybe, and that's about it, right? And so, but growing up though, I remember seeing, I like shows like the Wayans Brothers. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that show. But there was a lot of other that were black things I couldn't get behind. I was like, I can't get behind this. The comedy was just bad. The Wayans Brothers I always kind of liked, but there was nothing really else. There was nothing else, and I remember always hearing talks about bringing this diversification to entertainment, and I was behind that. But no one ever talked about our ethnicity, our peoples. It was always kind of like the others, right? And so now I'm like, oh, well, we talked about all these other, stop Asian hate, okay? I don't want to feel like I don't feel victimized at all, by the way. But I just I do like it, finally, that kind of gets brought up. And we have a lot of Asian friends, and I see them posting on social media. They're getting kind of loud about things.
Well, because for the longest time, Asians weren't being, I don't know, for as much shit as they take for all the racism that they do get.
Yeah.
They don't ever there's nothing that counters it ever. They're just docile and just quiet about it.
Because majorly speaking, Asian people are more, I won't say timid, but very, very nice. Very, like, okay, like, okay, just kind of turn the other cheek.
Stereotypical of you.
Just turn the other cheek, like, okay, you don't want any problems. You don't need to cause a ruckus. You know, they're very, I don't want to say timid, but yeah, kind of. And maybe that's it? You think that's why? That's why a lot of it just kind of goes unanswered or...
Yeah, I think that's what it
or
is.
swept under the rug?
Yeah, just like, be quiet, just don't do nothing, blah, blah, blah.
Don't bring attention to yourself.
Yeah.
Just study.
Just do your studies.
Just do your studies.
Just get
Practice
A's.
your piano. Because Asians are very family-oriented and, you know, it's a different dynamic. You know, the Asian culture is very, like, parents dominating and pushing kids to be in successful fields. You know, doctors, nurses, lawyers. That's a lot of it. You know, engineers.
Yeah.
You know, there's so... That's why you see so many, like, Middle Easterns in engineering and IT. So many Orientals in like, medical.
Orientals?
Yeah, right? Do we not see that anymore? It's the Orients. Were you shaking your head no?
No!
I think we do. Why do we not?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Oh. Dude, what?
I didn't know that was a bad thing to say.
Oh.
There's a whole game called that.
But yeah.
But they're kind of like pressured into that medical. There's groups that are like pressured into fields, and they're all high paying fields. So you can't get mad at the parents. But you hear like I love Joe Coy and his podcast and his stand up and stuff like that. He does a great imitation of his mom. And, you know, nursing is huge in the Filipino community, being a nurse.
Oh, his last stand-up where he was going off on the different accents of Asian cultures.
Oh.
Well, that one was funny.
Can you do that now? I mean, is that going to be brought up 3 years from now and you can get ridiculed for doing that?
Nope, because it was hilarious.
That's the thing.
It's comedy.
People
when
bring...
it's comedy, who gives a shit?
Okay, Macaulay Culkin just had a baby with Brenda Song.
Mm-hmm.
You know who she is? Disney character.
Yeah.
She was on. You know,
I didn't even know they were together.
I didn't know either. I found out they had a baby, and
huge age difference.
Probably. And they just brought up an interview. Speaking of Joe Rogan, he did an interview with Joe Rogan, and it was when they were dating 3 years ago. And he talked about how he would like to have. It'll be fun to have Asian babies because he can make Asian jokes. Because he's got an Asian child, he can relate to it. And now it's being brought up because of woke culture, and people are ridiculing him, or the Asian community is getting mad at him because he said that 3 years ago. It's like, guys, this cancel culture. This woke culture. Like throwing that word, people are throwing that word.
The word itself is it's getting thrown around way too much, to where it's like, it's almost like, now you got a question when somebody says like, are you really woke, or are you just saying dumb shit?
You think your opinion's that high?
Or are you just reading memes and...
Yeah. It's so... that's a whole other topic, maybe. But anyway, I like to see, you know, some light shone on the Asian community and the Oriental community, and where it always kind of seemed like they were the ones swept under the rug a lot.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of good. But I'm not walking around protesting with banners saying stop Asian hate.
But yeah, it really does need to, like, it's funny because if they would have done some shit like that to an Asian gang, they wouldn't dare do that shit to an Asian gang. You know, or done that shit to where there was other Asians witnessing it.
Mm-hmm.
They just picked somebody that just
By
can't.
themselves.
Yeah, it's so messed up.
Seems helpless. Yeah. No, it's good. I think all of the awareness of racism is good because it's hard to believe people in the 21st century still have a lot of racism.
Well, if you think about it, it wasn't that long ago. This whole segregation and stuff, it's were people's grandparents.
You're right, yeah, right.
It wasn't.
I said it before. We're only
a
generation away from that. We're only a generation away.
So it's still hard for that type of people were taught that in their life growing up.
Yeah.
And it's hard for them to forget that.
Right.
And so they might act like they're not racist. Like this army guy that just got brought out.
Yeah, he just got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, for pushing a black guy.
And he probably works with a lot of black people and is friends with them at work. But then outside of work, all of a sudden, hey, what's this guy doing in my neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
these people are. I like that there's video cameras and outing these people now.
It's true. I mean, we grew up with family members or close family members who lived in racist times, and we heard a lot of racist things growing up, and I know I've repeated that as a young kid, repeated some of that stuff just jokingly. But then you get to a point where your brain matures and you realize, okay, well that's not funny, or that's pointless, or that's not necessary.
Or that's just mean.
Yeah, and then you just change, right? You just change.
Yeah, you learn from it,
right? And that's why it's hard for me at this time of age. Still, people are still like that, even though sure you maybe were around it, and sure maybe you felt that way at some point. But then there's
the whole Confederate flag. I still don't understand why people fly it.
Yeah, especially when you know what people think of it as. And
when you talk about that's my heritage. That flag was around for 4 years. 4 years, and what it stood for that 4 years was not good.
Right.
And the party that represented that flag, you are now on the opposite party, and they're trying to use that flag. It makes no sense. The people that use that flag make no sense at all.
Right. So
if your heritage included racism, why are you so proud of it for those 4 years?
So should I take that off my house then, that flag?
Yeah, you probably should take it down finally.
This is over now. Time to be woke.
But yeah, that whole Confederate flag is just the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Whenever I see that, I'm like, you're dumb. You're so dumb.
It's true. Usually the people that do have it are usually a little less lesser-sized brains, usually anyway. So I'm not too surprised when I see it. I'm like, yeah, that seems about right.
Have their brains hanging out of their mullet.
Yeah, I'm like, that seems about right. Okay. No, but it's good. It's good. The awareness is good all around. Racist awareness is good, so it can end. I've said it multiple times. I've said it on my podcast. I think on this podcast. You gotta get used to it. I think most people in 10, 15 years from now are going to be like us, mixed. You're gonna see.
Well, yeah, I think
it's gonna be mixed.
I was watching something not too long ago that showed the average person. We already look like the future. We're the future.
Yep.
If you wonder what people on Earth are gonna look like in a few hundred
years, that is a good-looking future.
Yeah, like this. Maybe with some different colored eyes, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, so
some curly hair.
We're like half European, half Asian. My wife's Mexican. Our daughter is quite the blend, and she's got some lighter eyes, and it's good looking. She's got a great complexion, and it's the future. So
hollow is the future.
Get used to it. Mixed is in. Awesome. Anything else you want to talk about with it?
No. I think that's everything.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for listening and watching to the Buko Boys.
We love y'all. Peace out.